All right, you're good to go.
So it's just me. Here we go then. So I'm Officer Brian Higgins. I'm here at the Fauquier campus. I'm gonna run through these slides real quick. If anybody has any questions, by all means, speak up, or you can wait till the end. But as you can see here at the bottom, it's going to be the safety on campus. The phone number you see is the Fauquier campus phone number, and next to it is my email here at work. If y'all have anything that you need to say or talk to me about, you can use either one of those methods of contact. All right, next slide. Whoops, one too many. Here we go. So again, here's the phone numbers. As you see, the one in Middletown is 540-868-7233. And the one here in Warrenton, like I said earlier, was 540-351-1555. So if you have any emergencies, as far as like reporting, always call 911 and then call the Middletown campus or the Fauquier campus. We do have confidential reporting. If you request that, your report can be made to either the chief of police or one of our designated other police officers without revealing your identity or the identity of a victim. Confidential reporting will allow us to notify others if there's a danger, and it will also allow us to collect up some crucial information about a crime regarding just locations, descriptions of suspects, and methods that will be used without releasing any victim or witness identities. As you see in this slide, and I'll show you, these are at every one of the police desks. It's like a little bookmark that you can use. We also have business cards that you can grab at the desk also. It's see something, say something. These are the posters that you'll see. Again, it covers everything from Title IX to any crimes that need to be reported. Oops, hit the wrong button. All right, here we go. So when you go to the reporting, in order to get to this form, if you go to my LFCC, up in the corners is a down mark, says information. You can go down, it'll say police, and it'll also say see something, say something, or it'll state reporting. These are the forms, and if you notice, the ones that are marked in red is the only information that's required for you to put on this. As you can see, yourself and the victim can remain unanimous, but we'll get the crucial information that's required. This is the second part of the form. I keep hitting the wrong button. Here's the second part of it. And again, it's just the crucial information that's marked in red. All right, with that being said, I'm going to go over some emergencies. We're going to talk about run, hide, and fight. We're going to talk about Code Adam. We're going to talk about lockout. We're going to talk about evacuations and seeking shelter. Run, hide, and fight is primarily used when there's an intruder or an unauthorized personnel wanting to do harm or threaten the campus, gunpoint, knife, explosives, however. We'll get further deep into this throughout the next couple of slides. Code Adam, that's used for the report of a missing person or a child on campus. Lockout, which Chief of Police has asked me to put this in, was required of us last semester with an incident that occurred off campus that could have potentially flooded over onto campus and possibly caused imminent danger to personnel on the campus. And then there's evacuation, which we've all done in school for fires, hurricanes, bad weather, things of that nature. And then seeking shelter, that's the places here on campus, buildings and rooms that's been designated for you to seek shelter in case of a tornado, hurricane, or something of those nature. All right. So let's get into the run, hide, and fight part of it. We use this as acronyms because it's easy to remember under circumstances where you can be nervous or in danger. People have a fight or flight reflex when there's things that occur that stresses them out. So we run with the simple words of run, hide, and fight. So run and escape if possible. Don't worry about your belongings, leave those behind, and just get away. Your life's more important than your cell phone or your computer. Help others escape if possible, but you need to leave regardless of whether others want to agree to follow or not. Warn and prevent other individuals or people that's coming onto campus or possibly going to a class, coming down the hallway the opposite way that you're leaving, from entering that area, and that there is a threat. And then immediately call 911 when you're safe, and describe the person, location, and weapon. So it's basically who, what, when, where, and why, if you know why. But to only do that once you're in safe. Attempt to use social media in a worst case scenario, Facebook, Instagram, text messages to others outside the campus. Hide. If escape is not possible and you can't leave the building or you can't get away without sustaining injury, get out of the aggressor's view and stay quiet. So think of this hide part as a giant hide and go seek game. It's the ultimate hide and go seek game. And your main purpose is to buy yourself and others time from being found by the aggressor until law enforcement can arrive on scene and eliminate the threat. So get out of the view of the aggressor, stay quiet, silence all your electronic devices, make sure your volume's down. You don't want to be found out because your phone rang. Don't hide in groups. Groups spread out along the walls or hide separately. Bullet, if someone's using a gun and you're in groups, make it penetrate more than one, which is why we don't want you in groups. Make him have to seek a target. What I like to use is a target-rich environment. If you can eliminate a target-rich environment, then he can't oppose any threat or death upon you. Try to communicate with the police using text messages, social media, things of that nature, location, maybe a sign in a window. We discussed that earlier. Stay in place. Stay in place until law enforcement rescues you. Don't take a chance because you don't hear any more gunfire, you don't hear any more screaming, that you're safe and that you can get out and leave. Just remain where you're at and we will come find you, I promise. Your hiding place should also have both cover and concealment. Let's talk about cover and concealment, what the difference is. Cover is something that'll protect you from projectiles, shrapnel, things of that nature, hard wooden desks, concrete walls. Concealment is just something that hides you, so where someone can't see you. But just remember that some of these rooms that you're in have drywall, they have glass, things that bullets can penetrate and possibly harm you or put you in harm's way. So when you're looking for a place to hide, you want to think about cover and concealment. You have any questions so far? Are we good? I don't want to roll through this too fast if people aren't understanding.
No, you're good.
All righty, here we go. So the next one is fight. Now this fight is a last resort. If you can't run and you can't hide and you find yourself face to face with the aggressor, you have got to commit yourself to fight. And you have to fight with, we've all heard this, fight with all your might. Commit to your actions. Act as aggressively against the aggressor as this aggressor wants to hurt you. Make sure you want to hurt him. You need to have that mindset. If you can have one or two of y'all, you can ambush the aggressor when he enters your area, and you can have makeshift weapons. You can use things like chairs, fire extinguishers, these PCs, stapler, scissors, anything that you feel that you could use as a weapon against the aggressor, and commit to it. Be prepared to cause severe or lethal injury to this aggressor, because that's what he's planning on doing to you, and you want to be the one that goes home that evening. All right, let's talk about lockout. So I'll explain to you real quickly about what occurred last semester. I think it was last semester, wasn't it, Chris? The Walmart shooting?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was last semester. We monitor Fauquier County's radio stations, and we had gotten an alert, and it came across the radio that there was two people that were shot in the parking lot at the Walmart. Now, if you've ever been here at Fauquier campus, Walmart's right across the street. literally right across the street, like 25 yards, 100 yards, excuse me. So with that being said, and them not having a suspect, all they had was a description. They left on foot. There was someone in the area in close proximity of the university that could possibly come to this university and either seek shelter or possibly shoot one of our students or faculty members. So I made a decision to do a lockout, let the dean of students know. We locked all the exterior doors. No one was allowed to come in and no one was allowed out. Luckily, we had 2 officers that were working that evening. So I myself went down to the end of the street so that I could monitor the traffic that was coming onto campus in case the suspect had decided to come this way. And the other officer remained here in the campus with the dean of students to make decisions and make sure classes still went on for the people that were still here in the classes that were still occurring at the time. The dean made a decision to cancel the further classes that were happening next due to the proximity of the danger and not wanting any students to leave the campus or come on the campus until the suspect was apprehended. So with that being said, we'll go into a lockout. And I'm gonna have to, there we go. So lockout. Lockout is bringing students into a secure building or remaining in the building and locking all outside access points. Classroom activities may continue uninterrupted. Outside activities will return to the building, and if possible, continue class inside. If I'm not mistaken, you were outside that day, weren't you, Chris?
I was off campus.
You were off campus. There were some folks outside, if I'm not, I can't remember who it was. There were some folks that were outside, like around the gazebo, and we brought them inside. Anyway, so outside activities would return to the building, and if possible, they could continue the class or the activities inside. There will be no students or staff allowed to enter this building once it's locked out or locked down and has been initiated under a threat until it's over. Classes could be canceled to limit access to the campus at the dean's discretion, and you will be notified by LFCC alert system. We're going to get into the LFCC alert system also. Everybody needs to have that on their phone so you know when there's closures, bad weather, classes being canceled, or an event like this that occurs on campus. Any questions? All right.
None right now.
All righty. Moving right along. It's emergency evacuation procedures. Like I said, we did this in kindergarten when we had little fire drills. So if there's an evacuation, exit the premises through the nearest exit. Exit immediately. Don't return to pick up any of your personal items. Again, your safety is more important than your phone or your laptop. If possible, inform others of the evacuation. Avoid encountering the hazard, the fire, a suspicious package, a violent intruder, etc. Prevent individuals from entering an area where the hazard could be. Again, don't use elevators. We've heard that 100 times. There's a fire in the building, don't use an elevator. And refer to the building's emergency evacuation route maps. You'll find those in the hallways. Make yourself aware of where they're at and which exits are closer to you and where your classes are so that if this occurs, you know the quickest way to evacuate the building. So you're going to notify building occupants, as we said. So notification of these emergencies is used by using the LFCC alert system. Again, you need to get this on your phone so you'll be aware of it. Evacuation can be prompted by signaling either a fire alarm or notification from building manager, safety teams, perhaps your instructor, other building occupants that are aware of the imminent danger. And we have a PA system. It doesn't do the entire campus, but most of it's heard throughout the hallway. But us ourselves will walk around and make sure people are being evacuated. During an event that requires an evacuation, a person with a disability may have the following evacuation options. We have a horizontal evacuation. That's basically going from one building into a connecting or an adjacent building on the same level, which would be our barn. If something was to go on in the barn, they would be able to evacuate and either go to the parking lot or come to this building, the main building on campus, or vice versa. There was something here that occurred, they would be able to go to the barn or outside on this level. There's vertical, which is towards the ground floor of the building. Now, and this would be an extreme circumstance. They would have to use the elevator if they were in a wheelchair. They wouldn't be able to get down the stairs. But we've got 3 exits on the top floor, and we have 3 exits downstairs. So everybody should be able to get out, and all the exits are close by, proximities of where the classes are. Just be aware that individuals with mobility impairments, they may not be able to exit a building without some help. Persons that are unable to evacuate should await evacuations in a hallway. My suggestion was by the desks. There's the police desk and there's the front desk. It's kind of the center part of the building. And if you are downstairs, outside by Chris's office, right in the load center. Persons with disabilities should exit into the hallways and ask for assistance. But you, as a doer of good, if you see somebody that is in need of some assistance to exit the building or to get into their wheelchair or be wheeled out of it, then by all means help them out. All right, moving right along. All right, assembly areas. We're going to go over assembly areas because when you leave the building, you don't just get in your car and go home, because we may need some information from you. So after evacuating, you should report to a pre-designated assembly area. So I'm not mistaken, up here, I believe, is the upper parking lot. It's 100 feet away from the building. And downstairs, you would go out by the, can't think of the words, by the trailers of the modules on the lower parking lot. And that's where everybody would assemble a safe enough distance away from the building, and you wouldn't be inhibiting any emergency vehicles that are required to come onto campus. But it's got to be 100 foot away. You're going to wait for further instructions. Assembly areas, they're designated for accountability of people. If you have a class and there's 10 of you, teacher wants to know if he has all 10 people that's exited the building. That helps law enforcement and fire and rescue on how many people are in the building, if this building is on fire, or if there's an emergency event that's occurred in here. It's important to be aware of your nearest exits and building emergency evacuation routes prior to any emergencies. So take note of these, your primaries and your secondary evacuation routes before any of these events occur, just so that you have a fast and secure way to get out of the building. Code Adam. So Code Adam is when a child or a person, you've heard of elderly personnel, as well as children who just disappeared, and you hear the Code Adams go out. It used to be a gray alert and an amber alert. The amber alert was the children, the gray alert is a senior citizen. So when a child or a person is reported missing on campus, the police will be notified. And then again, there's our call your 911 first, and then call us and let us know. What we're going to do is notify emergency response teams, which every campus has one. And missing children incidents on campus has occurred at the specific building and campus location. State police will be notified. The emergency team will be notified. And every law enforcement in the area, probably county, state, as well as ourselves, will be out looking for these individuals. It'll go out over the alert on the radios. So if someone reports this to you, you're in a parking lot and they say, oh my God, my child's missing. I'll try to obtain some information from them. And I know this is a lot of stuff to try to remember, but if you think from head to toe, it's just like identifying a suspect. Hat, hair, then glasses or eyes. Did they have a mustache or a beard? Then what kind of shirt were they wearing? And then their pants, and then their shoes, and so forth. Name, race, age, sex, height, weight, hair color, skin color, distinguishing features, clothing colors, types, were they wearing shorts, jeans, a t-shirt, a button-up shirt, things of that. Shoe colors and styles. Special attention should be given as a person's shoe color and style. One of the reasons is when a child is being abducted or taken, it's too much of a hassle to try to change their shoes out, but it's too easy to throw on a jacket or a different shirt or a hat. So keep that in mind. Also find if they have any medical conditions that could either endanger the missing person or contribute to the reason why they're missing. Again, do they have dementia, perhaps they have autism, they just wandered off. So things like that. All right. So we'll get into the notification of the emergencies. You've already heard me harping on the LFCC alert. Here's the ways to do it. You can text LFCC alert, all one word, or to 226-787, or visit the alert lfcc.edu on your website and get signed up for that. We're going to go over that, the PA system, and phone top messaging. All right, so crime prevention. Have your keys ready when you're approaching your car. Don't be standing out in the dark, especially we have night classes. I have a couple nursing classes here that go into late nights, and they're walking out in the parking lot alone. And you know, if you're going to do that, I suggest going out in pairs. Go with a buddy, work on a buddy system. So already have your keys ready when you're approaching your car. Just take a moment to look in your car before getting into it. Make sure it hasn't been broken into or somebody else is sitting in it. Be aware of events that may affect your safety on campus and elsewhere. With that being said, there's hit and runs. There's people that will stop you in the middle of campus and talk to you about things. None of that's happened here. It's just stuff to be aware of that's happened at other universities or colleges. Observe posted speed limits and be aware of pedestrian traffic. Walk with a friend or a group. You can always stop by the police desk and ask and request an escort to your vehicle if you don't feel safe and you parked all the way down on the far side of the campus in the dark where there wasn't any lights, because campus was packed when you got here. So don't hesitate to ask us for an escort. Take notice of your surroundings. These are things to be cautious of, and we mentioned this. Leaving alone at night, a hit and run with a vehicle. It could be a plot or a ploy to get you to get out of your vehicle. And just strangers asking questions out of the ordinary. And you know what I mean by that. There's folks that will come and talk to you about the campus and, you know, what kind of classes do they have? How do they get enrolled? Where's the student services office at? Those are normal questions. They start asking things out of the ordinary about how many people go to school here, where are the exits, how many people are usually here at night, is it mostly females, is it mostly males? They start asking weird questions like that. Please notify police immediately. And then help prevent theft. If you want to keep it, hide it and lock it. So all your valuables, don't leave your laptop sitting in the front seat. Don't leave your cell phone hanging on your magnetic charger that's on the dashboard, or anything that you don't want to lose. Lock up your vehicle and try to keep those things out of the way if you want to keep it. Then identity theft, safety. This is just something that happens regularly, but the main thing is just keeping your personal information to yourself. So secure your passwords, use at least 8 characters, alphanumeric symbols, upper lowercase numbers, or letters, I'm sorry, numbers. Keep PII safe, so don't give out your personal identifying information unless absolutely necessary. I can't think of any incidents where it would absolutely be necessary for you to give out any of your personal identifying information. Monitor your credit scores. You can go and get free credit reports at creditreport.com and just do it annually. Make sure nobody's opened up a credit card or open up a line of credit under your information that you didn't do yourself. And then respond rapidly if that occurred. File a police report, notify your financial institute, especially if you lose a credit card or your debit card, the credit bureau to resolve any fraudulent activity that may end up on your credit report. And then ride sharing. We have Ubers out here. I'm sure there's a couple more that y'all are more aware of than I am. We've got a DoorDash now that brings you food. We've got a Grubhub. There's all these places where you can get food. All these places you can get a ride like Uber. So just check your apps, check license plate, ask what their name is, make sure it's what it is. Make sure it's the person in the vehicle that you're supposed to be in, and make sure that the people that's getting out handing you a bag is from Grubhub or from DoorDash, and it's an order that you ordered. And then we'll get into employee student IDs and parking passes. They are important. Be sure you get your employee student ID. If you have to go test center or you need to use a library, you're going to need those ID cards. Parking permits are required, must be displayed on your vehicle. They go on the driver's side of your vehicle in the lower back window. That helps in the event of a stolen vehicle or a hit and run accident. We can trace back either a tag number or a parking pass number and find out who the car belongs to and get the information and hold them accountable for that. And that's it. That's all I have. Are there any questions from anyone?
No questions at this time, but that was an awesome presentation. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Like Brian said, if you do need to get in touch with campus safety or police department, the number at Fauquier is posted. It's 540-351-1555. And then if you're at Middletown, we also have that number in Brian's presentation as well. I am going to throw up a slide so that if you participated in this session, you can submit an entry for the iPad, the AirPods, or the Nintendo Switch. Go to tinyurl.com/LFCC-summer 2020. Make sure to submit that before the end of this week, and we will announce winners on Monday, August 24th.